One of the big arguments that the new atheists make is this. It's their observation, and of course it's a common observation, we all make it, that we are ethical people, we have moral standards and so on and so forth. And in their crusade against God, they realize there could be a problem for some people, because traditionally, in Western Europe certainly, the baseline for ethics, the guarantor of ethics, if you like, has been God. That's the traditional ethic based on Christianity. And so one possible reaction is to say, if you get rid of God, you knock the bottom out of ethics and you leave people morally at sea, so to speak. No, say the new atheists, you don't need God in order to have a base for ethics. We can supply a base for ethics, basing it in science and so on, or society, or both. Now, what I want to say there, when people phrase the question in its short form, can we be good without God? We need to be very careful what we mean by the question, because of course atheists can be good. From where I sit as a Christian, each human being is a moral being made in the image of God, so that whether they believe in God or not, they have a conscience, they are moral beings, and of course they have the capacity to demonstrate good behavior. So the issue is not, can atheists be good? Indeed, sometimes atheists show better patterns of behavior than religious people, professing religious people. So we leave that aside. What I'm referring to is much more what Dostoevsky in his famous novel, The Brothers Karamazov, referred to. If God does not exist, everything is permissible. It's not talking about the question of whether an atheist can be good or not. Of course they can. It's talking about whether there's a rational basis for ethics if God does not exist. Now, if God does not exist, and some of the contemporary atheists are right, then there's no such thing as absolute morality. Everything ends up being relative, and we're all aware of the postmodern phenomenon. And that's a very interesting thing, because it's very hard to believe from practical experience that everything is relative morally. Some things appear to be absolutely wrong. For example, torturing babies. We have a sense that every sane person will reject that as being absolutely wrong. But the existence of such moral absolutes is highly significant. It was the famous Oxford philosopher J.L. Mackie that pointed out that there's a direct path from absolute morality to God. That it's arguable that if you have absolutes, and we appear to have them, whether we argue against them or not, they appear to exist, then that's a pathway to God.